Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining this session with Microsoft and ResourceIT on digital demand generation. This is a best practice webinar featuring Tori Simpson from ResourceIT. Tori, I'll leave it all up to you from now, and thank you so much for joining us.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Tori Simpson and I am the Head of Digital and Creative at ResourceIT. I've been working with businesses to drive digital demand for over 10 years and wanted to share today some insight with you on how to get the most out of what you're doing. So today we're going to talk through your value proposition, video, LinkedIn, PPC and some tips and tricks. But firstly, I just want to introduce you to ResourceIT. We are a channel marketing agency only working with IT organisations and helping them to drive demand. We've delivered over 4,000 projects and there may be some businesses there that you recognise. So let's get cracking. Why is your value proposition so important to lead generation? Having a strong value proposition means the people and businesses we want to attract instantly know they're in the right place. They will see, hear or read something they know is specifically for them. The clearer this is, the more influential we become and the more opportunity we create. It's all about being in control. It's about controlling the businesses you attract and how you manage the process of engaging with your customers and prospects. Whatever you do, your Microsoft partner business is very unlikely to be the same as it was in February of 2020. As more end customer organisations step into unfamiliar territory, advancing their plans to achieve greater agility, digital transformation, cloud migration, security, and of course, remote working, tells us the customers need to find and select a partner that they can trust is more critical than ever. A rethink of your message to align to current needs and buying trends will put you in control of the businesses you attract. And here's how to do this really well. Get really clear. Why would your target buy from you? Who is the decision maker you're targeting, or has that changed? What do you have to give that they need? And why should they choose your organisation or product or solution? What's the unique value add you have to offer, and how can you back that up? What's critical to remember is that you ultimately are selling the nuts and not the nuts and bolts, the value, the opportunity, the savings, and sell the ROI, not the product or the nuts and bolts. Sell the vision. It's what we want to focus on and make it attractive. We would recommend you focus your value proposition on your ideal or most profitable customers. Who are they? What are they buying? What pressures are they facing internally and externally? And how can you articulate what you can do to help them in a language they understand? Consider the size, the shape and the location of the organisations you make the most money from and where you can add value. Focus your value proposition on these customers. Those are the types of businesses we want more leads from. We all have clients that burn our support time or don't pay on time. They want a discount, they're too big, they're too small. And what you don't want to do is spend our precious marketing budget on attracting more of them. So really think about the DNA of those ideal businesses. What characteristics make them good clients? What stakeholders make them good clients? Ask yourselves, what are their market drivers? What is going on outside of their businesses that affect them? Discussing market drivers are powerful ways to demonstrate we understand our prospects and the things they can't control. Next, we think about what's going on inside their organisation. What are their pressures? What is their growth opportunity, or how are they challenged? How has their business changed? What is their opportunity, or what crisis might they be managing? How can you add additional value to recent investments, or really get to know what their drivers are? Research and insight is demonstrated by our understanding of our ideal customers. Talk their language, become relevant. Talking of language, number 3 is, who are the stakeholders? Are they business or technical? Are they business owners or senior managers? Ideal customer profiling leads us to who we are marketing and selling to. What keeps that stakeholder awake at night? What are they trying to resolve? How have those individuals been affected, and what has changed for them? Really get to know your stakeholders. And finally, if you segment your value proposition in some way, it becomes much more relevant and increases your opportunity to drive leads much more effectively. The more specific you can get, the more powerful you are. Tempting to not want to restrict your opportunity, as you may work in so many different markets to many different sizes and types of customers, and that's great. But each has a unique set of issues or opportunities, and each needs to feel you're an expert for them. In summary, to drive more leads from the right type of customers, be clear on the DNA of your ideal clients and center your value proposition on attracting more of those. Who are the great clients we have, and what is their DNA? Where did they come from, and why did they buy from us? Can we verticalize our message to get even more targeted? And if you don't know the answers to these questions, ask your customers or sales teams for some of their insights. So now we have a great value proposition. Let's think about some of the ways we can use it to increase demand generation and drive more leads. I've picked 3 areas to cover, and I'm going to start with video. With a considerable sway towards digital and social media, video is one of the most compelling and interesting ways to get your new value proposition across, using a language that your prospects and customers can relate to and drive leads. It's proven that video marketers get 66% more qualified leads per year. This means if your average marketing lead generation campaign generates 100 leads, using video could see that rise to 166. Video is much more digestible than the written word. Just think about how many people, rightly or wrongly, prefer to watch a film than read a book. It's much more engaging, more motivational, and can be so much more fun. Videos don't have to be big Hollywood productions. They can be recorded via Teams and truly authentic, giving you the opportunity to showcase your capability, your team, and your business in a unique way that helps you stand out. We would also recommend you record your videos that can be broken up into snackable content that you can use for digital demand generation. Entertain and engage, and your videos will get shared. Videos absolutely bring words to life, so use video to supplement other content. And it's massively impactful through social media, which brings us on to our next subject, LinkedIn, a great place to share your value proposition and videos. LinkedIn is where your customers are. And if you know your customer is going to be there, you want to look your best. Use this amazing tool to its maximum to drive leads. LinkedIn is a key social tool that allows you to reach specific audiences using targeting criteria based on a range of demographics. Creating ads with relevant messaging that appear on your audience's newsfeed when browsing is a great way to generate brand awareness, drive leads, and increase sales pipeline. And studies show that it is the most effective channel for B2B lead generation. So where to start with LinkedIn advertising? I'm going to give you some tips for crafting your LinkedIn campaigns, and it's going to start with what LinkedIn asks you first. and it asks you what your objective is. So brand awareness is the first one. If you're just after impressions, maybe you've got a new product or a rebrand or a new audience and you just want them to get familiar with you, brand awareness is a great place to start. Website visits is next. So traffic to your site. It might be a blog or video or an asset, but you want them to come to your website. Or lead gen. So if you want to generate leads, I cannot recommend enough that you use LinkedIn forms. It is automatically populated with somebody's LinkedIn profile information, so they don't have to type their name, their company, their job title, anything like that. It's based on what's on LinkedIn. Then there's the types of ads, and these fit into a few different categories. Single image ads or a carousel or a video appears in a news feed. So someone's scrolling through LinkedIn and it comes up as a promoted or sponsored ad. And then there's text and spotlight ads. These appear on the right hand side of LinkedIn. Now, as much as we use them sometimes, there's a very rarity that we do because there's something called ad blindness. And that's where people would just become immune to what's on the right hand side because they know that mostly it's ads. So be really careful if you're going to choose text or spotlight ads. And then message or conversational ads. These are adverts that go to someone's inbox. They can click a button to reply, or they can open a form, or they can go to a landing page. So then to the targeting, I'm really hoping that I can share with you a few tips that I've learned from kind of discussions of LinkedIn and working with it for the last 10 years. There's tons of different options, and it is the best that is available to us as B2B marketeers to target someone based on where they work and what they do. So first is company. You can upload a company list to LinkedIn, so you can get a list of company names. This is great if you've got an ABM strategy or a target list for your sales teams, maybe. Or you can target the company based on the industry, the size, or even the name. If you're going for one big company like Coca-Cola, you could just type in the name of that organisation. And then you have to pick location. This is based on somebody's profile. So it's where they've said they live or work. Anything from a continent to a city, but you have to enter a location. So you could put in there Europe or United Kingdom or Reading, depending on how specific you want to get. And then the persona. I cannot stress this enough that one size does not fit all. Now, based on what I know, I would assume most people here fitted into the kind of marketing manager category, but most people here's job title probably isn't marketing manager. Now, if you uploaded or created a LinkedIn audience based on a job title, it would target barely any of us. So instead I say target based on job function and job seniority, which means it will encompass us all. Job function, there's tons and tons of different types, and if I was targeting a marketing manager, I would go for marketing and media and communications, but you can see there's everything there from accounting to support to sales and business development. Tick as many as are relevant to you. And job seniority, so I always go for manager and above, because I think if I'm targeting a marketing manager and actually the CMO wants to click on my ad, I'm not going to be sad about that. I would absolutely want that to happen. So job function and job seniority is a much better way to get people, because you wouldn't encompass everyone. The kind of prime examples of that are our marketing manager. Actually, if your job title was partner marketing manager or channel marketing manager or Microsoft marketing manager, it wouldn't get you because your job title wasn't marketing manager. And then job skills. So you can target people based on the kind of areas that they use LinkedIn for. So skills is endorsements. And I don't know if you remember, I hope you do, a few years ago, everybody was endorsing everyone for everything, particularly if they wanted to sell to you. So I've been endorsed hundreds of times for Microsoft Word, which I wouldn't profess to be an expert in, but I definitely can use it. So there's a time and a place for endorsements. I would use it for really specific technologies. If you were looking for someone that had been endorsed for something super specific, like BizTalk, for example. If I was endorsed for BizTalk, I would delete it because I know nothing really about it. But if you were endorsed for it, you would know. And then groups. So if someone is part of a group or multiple groups, you can target them based on that. So again, if there's a specific kind of technology or business area that you're targeting someone for, like unified communications, for example. And then there's other options. So interest, education, age, and gender. One of the top tips that I've got for you is to never use age. Not only because I don't agree with ageism, but for this reason. When a few years ago, I was working with a company and they said, I only want to target over 35s because they are people of influence within the company. And as much as I didn't agree with that statement, actually, LinkedIn resets your age based on when you leave education. So I don't know about you, but I've done further education in my career since leaving school or university. And every time I finished that, LinkedIn has reset my age to being 18. And I wish that were true, but if I put age in there, it's actually going to think so many people are younger than they are. So if you, for any need, you have a reason to target based on how long someone's been in their job, use years of experience rather than age. So hopefully I've given you some insights, particularly with LinkedIn advertising, on the objectives, the ad types, and the targeting audience. Use professional demographic data to target the right people. Invest in sponsored content to promote company updates. Remove the main barrier to conversion by using pre-populated lead generation forms that can be submitted in one click. And use real-time reporting in Campaign Manager to make sure you can optimize the campaign at any time, tweak the audience, tweak the message. Posting organically a few times a week is a valuable way to build up your LinkedIn following and let the personality of your business shine through. I'd like to move on next to talk about PPC. PPC is highly successful, but can be quite complex. So here are a few ideas for you. The first thing is to say that this is where your customer's language is really important. You have to think about what they would search for and not necessarily what you would search for. Some search terms like Microsoft Azure or Microsoft Teams or cloud migration can be super expensive, and you're bidding against huge companies like Microsoft themselves. So as an alternative, try to think more along the kind of lines of the terms your customers would use, like accessing company information securely or sales solutions for small businesses. Search and display is a great way to increase breadth and brand awareness, reaching a larger audience based on your website visits and the key terms you use. So PPC search uses text-only ads to your audience which appear on a search results page. Pick keywords best related to your message, as we've discussed. And display, I like to use display with remarketing to target existing visitors of my websites. Direct them to different landing pages with relevant content from what they may have already seen. The most important thing about PPC is to keep a close eye on it. It can run away hundreds, if not thousands, of your marketing budget if you don't set the limits correctly and consistently optimize it. Optimizing your campaign should leave you with results like this. Industry averages are a great thing to aim for, and the more relevant your message is and the better your targeting, you can aim for way above that. Getting good results on PPC is all about the right message at the right time in the right place. So if ever your click-through rates are looking low or you want to improve it, think about those three things and what may need to change. So now that we've talked about your value proposition, video, LinkedIn and PPC, in the final few minutes, I'd like to give you our top tips for lead generation techniques that you can try. 4 things we think could mean little effort delivers increased lead generation results for you. Number 1 is provide your audience with a free tool or resource. One of the most effective ways to increase ROI is by offering your audience a downloadable asset to take away that is of value to them. This enables your prospects to digest information in their own time, and it's a great way to get downloads and leads to follow up on. In our experience, the most successful digital campaigns are those that promote informative and relevant assets, such as ebooks and white papers. Remembering it's about them, not you. What are their market drivers and business drivers that you can use to provide them with an asset that's valuable to them? Number 2 is using remarketing campaigns to increase brand awareness. Remarketing is a fantastic tool that absolutely isn't used enough. Someone might find you, they might see your website, but it might not be the right time for an investment or a conversation there and then. So remarket to them, making sure they see other things, other parts of your business or new content, so that you're always top of mind as your prospect's journey continues and when future support may be on the agenda. Our third top tip is invest more in content creation. Inbound marketing is a huge part of a successful demand generation strategy, and content creation has never been more important. Success requires consistent effort, whether it's a downloadable asset or just keeping your website updated, regular blog posts. Every touch demonstrates your individuality. The more content you can produce, the more relevant you stay to your audience and the more likely they are to engage with you. And finally, optimize your email marketing strategies. Email can be an incredibly powerful component of demand generation campaigns, but far too many advertisers misuse it or fail to harness its potential. To caveat this, we would recommend you avoid using large breadth email tactics. Not only do you have to consider the issues associated with GDPR, but breadth emails are proven to be far less successful than personalised contact. Keep it short and relevant and align a relevant call to action that your ideal prospects will respond to in a language that means something to them. Great lead generation requires your prospects to be engaged and interested in what you have to say. I'm hoping you're sensing a theme here. Be as relevant as you can. Think about your audience and what they care about. The more relevant you get, the greater your response, which means more leads and greater ROI. To stand out as a Microsoft partner, you need to think differently to be different. And all of that starts with your value proposition. I hope this has been helpful, and there's a blog coming out from us on this soon. So thank you so much. We've got a Q&A. I don't know if there's any questions in there. But if you have any questions or want to talk about it further, please do email me. And we'll see if there's any questions in the Q&A.
Yep. Thank you so much, Tori. That was great. And no, I cannot see any questions so far. Again, if you'd like just to reach out to Tori, her email is displayed right here on the screen. Otherwise, I think we can wrap it up there since there are no questions. So I want to say again, thank you so much, Tori, and thank you to everyone who joined. And I wish you all a lovely weekend.
Amazing. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.